Welcome back to the channel, my brothers, or welcome to the channel if this is your first time. If so, where have you been? My name's Andy R, and this is the Brotherhood of Men. Today, you know what today is. Today is
Red Flag Friday.
Ooh, is that a red flag?
That's right, my brothers, it's Red Flag Friday. Now, I'm only responding to a few of the comments out there who said, bring back Red Flag Friday. And I have for this one-off. This one-off's important because it's the biggest, the most important red flag you will ever come across. So what is today's red flag? A feminist woman. Yeah, that's right. A woman who claims to be a feminist, who tells you she's a feminist. Well, if she's claimed to be a feminist, listen to her, believe her, she's a feminist. Now, here's a little statistic for you, because I like to back up my opinions with statistics and facts and surveys. I like to draw on other material than just my own opinion. And this statistic is, in the recent census, in this country, in the United Kingdom, only 9% of women self-identified themselves as feminists. In the United States, that was a whopping 12%. That's 12% of just over half of the population, because half being men, half being women, roughly. In most Western societies, it works out roughly about 53% of the population female and 47% male. So out of those 53% females, only 12% self-identified themselves as feminists. That's a small percent of the female population. Why have they got so much power? They've infiltrated everywhere. They're in HR departments making up crazy policies for men to follow, as well as women. They work in politics, they work in local government, they work in all of the places that they can have influence over decision making. And one of the biggest places they work is education. 78% of teachers are female. That percentage goes up the younger the child is. So kindergarten, preschool, it's all up in the 80%. So a young child can go from a single mother household to a school and have no real male interaction, and is being indoctrinated by people who physically and mentally hate boys and men, because that's what it means to be a feminist. And that's why it's such a big red flag. You should have absolutely nothing to do with any woman who ever tells you, well, as a feminist, that's all you need to hear before you go. And I mean run. You run, Forrest, run. You get out of there as quick as your little legs will take you, because every other piece of interaction that you're going to have with her is going to be like an interaction with the police. All of your words will be used against you. That's what they tell you if you ever get arrested. Everything you say will be taken down and used against you, never in your favour. And that's exactly how a feminist is talking to you and listening to you. She doesn't care what you think. She doesn't care what you feel. She doesn't care the struggles you've had in your life. She does not care about you. She only cares what advantage she can get over you. And the more you talk to her, the more you tell her, the more she will use your words against you to cause trouble for you. Do not engage with these women. This is the biggest red flag in the world for men, is the feminist. The woman who calls herself a feminist. She quite literally hates men. She doesn't care about you at all. But at the same time, she so wants one. Like most women, she'll say, oh, I don't want this, I don't want that. But she does want a man. And then most feminists, she does want a man. In fact, she wants the strongest of men. She's the one who's like, stamp on me more, daddy. Treat me like a little girl, daddy. Oh. Until it's not what she wants. And then she will destroy you. A feminist hates you. She hates the fact that you are a man. She thinks you've got an easy ride of it because you're a man. She has these crazy notions in her head that you've got some advantage in the life just because you're a man. When in actual fact, all data and statistics shows that to be a nonsense. In fact, just recently, there was a female author, journalist. She went undercover for 2 years posing as a man. She changed her whole shape, her hair and everything. She passed off as a man for 2 years. That experience was so traumatising for her. She wrote a book about it. That experience was so traumatising for her, she took her own life. She couldn't actually get her head round. She went into this whole experiment thinking that her life was going to be so easy because she was going to be a man. Look at all the advantages. Hey, you've got male privilege, haven't you? That was the attitude she went into it with because she was a feminist. But after 2 years of posing to be a man and writing a book about it, she then went and deleted herself from society because she was mentally broken. It was so traumatic, the experience she had of experienced life through a man's eyes. She couldn't handle it. It completely shattered her old ideology about all of this privilege that we men are supposed to get. We men know the struggle we have. We dealt with it from when we were first out of the womb. As we grow up, we saw how unfair life is. We saw that we had to struggle and strive and use our everything to claw something out of life for ourselves. And then we could be proud of what we'd built because we'd achieved it as men. That's not how a woman sees life. She gets given so much just because she's a woman. And that's what happened to this journalist. Don't get me wrong, it was a terrible thing that happened to her, but it just proved such a point of how deluded, how brain scattered and brainwashed young women are to believe in feminism. And it's such a small percentage of women who self-identified that were able to say that I'm a feminist. They don't like you. Avoid them at all costs. Run away. They insert themselves into key places, education, government, businesses, mainly in their HR department, so that they can have influence on men's lives and make them more miserable because they hate men. So if you come across one in the dating world and she says, well, as a feminist, run like hell. Get out of there. Do not stop. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200, pounds, euros, whichever your currency is. Just get out of there. She will actively go about trying to ruin your life or indoctrinate you so that you turn around and say you're a feminist. Any man who says that, don't have anything to do with him either. Anyway, do you agree with me? Is this the biggest red flag? Is this when I'm saying that it's the biggest red flag, it's miles wide, waving in front of you, whacking you over the head with the red flag? Do you agree with me? If so, leave it down in the comments. Tell me your experiences of having to deal with some woman who's told you she's a feminist. If you're not already subscribed, please hit the subscribe button. Don't forget to hit the bell notification, that way you don't miss out on future videos. And of course, give the video a like. It does help the channel, as does your comments, and I read every one of your comments. Even if I don't reply to every one of them, I do read them, because you're my brothers and I love reading what you have to say. Anyway, you, my brothers, you take care of yourself. I'm going for a cup of tea because I think I've earned one. But I need you to take care of yourself, because if you don't, you might end up dealing with a feminist. Take care of yourself, because if you don't, who will? And I'll talk to you soon. Bye now.